Hello everybody, so Mrs Shanagher again here. You're going to be sick of hearing my voice, but anyway, it might help you for Tuesday. So this question, I thought I would just go through with you because it involves a graph for the 6-mark question. It's from topic 5, which is all about disease, and it's on paper 1. So let's have a read of it. So gonorrhea, which is it's an STI caused by bacteria. It's a sexually transmitted bacterial infection, and figure 7, which is this one here, shows the number of people diagnosed with gonorrhea in the UK. So you always need to look, you've got your independent variable across the bottom, so you've got your year from 2005 to 2014, and your dependent variable is up the side here, and you've got number of people diagnosed with gonorrhea going up in 5,000s. Now the question says, explain how gonorrhea is transmitted, so how's it passed on, first of all, and then how the number of people infected can be reduced. So what can we do to reduce infection? We have to use data from the graph. So any graph or any tables, always use data and quote to show the examiner you know what you're talking about. We need to justify why it's necessary to reduce the number of people infected. And we can see here the trend for females and the trend for males, and there is a distinct difference between them. So what would you be needing to write down here? So first of all, you need to say how it's transmitted. So it's a difficult word to spell, so you need to read it from the question if you're not good at spelling. So even I'm going to have to check this. So Gonorrhea. So gonorrhea is spread when you exchange bodily fluids. So spread during the exchange of bodily fluids during sexual intercourse or sexual contact, and it can be passed from a mother to a child. So if the mother is infected with gonorrhea, it can be passed to the child through childbirth. Now just a bit of a reminder here about contraceptives that we mention in science as part of the syllabus. So both the male and the female condom are the only two barrier methods that would actually stop and reduce the spread of gonorrhea, just as a bit of a sideline there. So it's spread during the exchange of bodily fluids and during childbirth, which we've put there. You could write down that condoms will reduce the spread of gonorrhea. And then we have to say about how the number of people infected can be reduced, so what we can do. So it's things like you can screen for infections, so screen people for the infection. So you'd go to the doctors and undergo a screening test at your local GP. So not having sexual contact with somebody when you have gonorrhea, so what we call abstinence, would stop infections. Tracing any partners if you are infected, letting anybody know, education on disease, and of course treatment with antibiotics. So screen people for the infection, educate them on the disease, and use antibiotics, which kill, not fight, which kill bacteria. So antibiotics are tablets that you get from your GP. They are not to be confused with antibodies, which are what your white blood cells make when you've got an infection. So gonorrhea is spread during the exchange of bodily fluids. It's a sexually transmitted infection. Condoms will reduce the spread, both the male and the female. To help the treatment or to reduce the number of people being infected, screen people for the infection, which you do at your local GP. Educate them on the disease and use antibiotics, which will kill the bacteria, which obviously is what causes gonorrhea. Now looking at the graph now, we've got to use data. So we can see here that from 2005 to 2008, the number of cases of males has slowly declined, but then we've had an increase from 2008 to 2010, and then we've had a much more rapid increase from 2010 to 2014, and it's much higher in males compared to females. Females has been steadily around 5,000 people up to about 2010, and then numbers have started to slowly rise up to this level here. And just be careful when you read off your graph, make sure you're being nice and accurate. So the number of cases in males is higher than females. So the number of cases is higher in males. So that's you showing the examiner that you're looking at the data. And it's increased since 2008. So you're acknowledging this part of the graph here, this slow increase, and then it's rapidly increased since 2010. So it's rapidly increased since 2010. The number of cases in females has also increased since 2010, but at a slower rate. So the number of cases in females has increased. So again, looking at the graph since 2010, but at a slower rate. So hopefully, don't forget antibiotics kill bacteria. They do that by disrupting cell activity and disrupting the cell wall so they can't reproduce. Sometimes that gets asked as well, but again, just using data from your table here so you can say when you've got more time exactly what the figures are. So going from 10,000, so what's the scale here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it's gone up in thousands. So that's 16,000 in 2010. To 26,000 in 2014. So don't forget to use data, read the questions carefully, always add your numbers. Good luck, guys.